Hey guys, Professor Perazzo here. Another episode of Driving Home with the Professor. And I just wanted to talk about where I was today. I was a groomsman in one of my students' weddings. You can see I got a shirt, a tie, and there's a beautiful vest, and it was just a beautiful ceremony. And I wanted to talk about the relationships that you can make through a martial arts academy and how important these relationships become. And you know, one of my purple belts, Scott Hunting, fights MMA for us. Really dedicated student, dedicated to his art, dedicated to his family, dedicated to our school. And he pulls me aside one day and he says, "Hey Marco, I'm getting married, and I wanted to ask you if you'd be a groomsman in my wedding." And I was completely floored. But also very touched. You know, it's a big kind of, you know, it's an awesome thing to be there at the very first step of the start of his family. And he thought enough of me as his instructor, but also his friend and mentor, and somebody that's been in his corner for his fights, and you know, supported him along the way, much like he supported me. He thought enough of me to ask me to be in his wedding with members of his family, you know, close friends that he's known 3 times as long as he's known me. But the relationship that we've been able to build over the last 6 or 7 years, that bond is truly a strong bond. And that's one of the benefits of training in a martial arts academy. In this case, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts, or Muay Thai, like we do at NJMA, is the deep connection that instructors make with students, students make with the instructors, and the students make with each other. And I was just so happy to meet, you know, a bunch of people that I've never met in my life that are part of Scott's family, and they're now part of my life. It was great. And you know, a little story about Scott's dad. It was very, you know, 2 stories. Scott's dad and Scott's father-in-law. Scott's dad was born basically without the fingers on his hand. For all you jiu-jitsu guys, his hand looks very similar to John Jacques Machado's hand. And Scott always told me that his grandmother raised his dad never to use that hand as an excuse. So now I kind of understand the hard work that Scott always puts in at the gym, preparing for his fights, getting ready for tournaments, helping other people prepare for his fights, because he comes from that culture, that mentality of, man, we're going to work for everything, and we're not going to accept excuses. And that was it's really been motivating to me to know that Scott has somebody like that in his life, and kind of knowing that you could fight through these different problems. Now, the other really big motivator was Liz's dad, Scott's new wife. I've only ever seen him in a wheelchair. He's had some issues with the leg, and Scott said that he's been going to therapy to walk down the aisle. He wants to walk his daughter down the aisle. And man, saw him yesterday at the rehearsal. He was playing around with one of the little guys there, the ring bearer, and he asked him something. He's, "Yeah, you're going to see me walk down the aisle tomorrow." And I was like, man, I hope he can make it. Well, here he comes, you know, walking down the aisle. I think it probably took every ounce of effort and energy that he had, but his goal was get his daughter down the aisle and, you know, do exactly what he needed to do, which was amazing. And another really inspiring thing that I saw today that I was lucky to be a part of. This guy who's typically in a wheelchair, has major problems with his legs, but he said, today I'm walking my daughter down the aisle. You know, he had to use a walker, but he accomplished his goals, you know. And Scott's dad, Scott, Scott's new father-in-law, Bill, all really good examples for us as martial artists. When we really put our mind to something, we set that goal and we reach it, and we should be able to achieve it through our hard work. I want to thank Scott, all the new friends that I made at the wedding. My wife was there. Just an awesome evening. Congratulations to Scott and his new wife. Just a great time, guys. Thanks for having us. So this is Driving Home with the Professor. It was a little more formal tonight. Tie, vest, suit, looking good. I have some pictures up on Facebook. You can check us out, Team NJMA on Twitter, Marco Perazzo on Facebook, NJMAonline.com, just for our regular website. And if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to be a groomsman at your wedding, please feel free to contact me on any of those. And everyone have a good night.